Okay guys, just want to do a quick little video and boil some water with my new Bushbuddy Ultra 004 stove. So you can see I've got some wood here, I've got various sizes and it's already broken up. I've got my cook kit here. This is the Enzo Trapper 95 knife. I got this recently. And then I have some water. So the first thing I'll do is go ahead and unpack it. Got just a light my fire steel there. Pull it out of the stuff sack. I've got some dryer lint, which is what I use here at home, just to kind of get fire started. And I've got just some do-it-yourself fire starters, just cotton pads with wax. And then of course I've got the stove here. So go ahead and put some water. This is the Snow Peak 900 Trek cook pot. That's about 2 cups of water there. And go ahead and get this going. So I start by taking my my tinder and just kind of putting the fire starter, kind of wedging it in there. Kind of put it in there. Take my knife. Well, if I can get the, there it goes. Got that going, and then I just start taking some of the little sticks, the little pieces, kind of putting them in there. And this thing sure is all nice and shiny and pretty. Sorry about all the noise. As you may be aware, I live in the city, so you hear it. Also, this wood is wet. It's been raining like crazy the last few days around here, so this is definitely going to smoke some. The biggest problem I have with this is usually getting the wood in there without it falling down into the bottom chamber. So I've got some pieces in there. Put some a little bit bigger pieces. Just kind of start putting them in there. And of course this is just one method to doing this. You can do a top-down burn, which you fill the chamber with a bunch of sticks and everything, and then you put a small fire on top of it and you start it and it'll burn down. That's good for if you don't really want to sit here and play with it. Me personally, I don't mind sitting here playing with it. It's I enjoy playing with fire. Also, you do have to be careful that you don't smother. Kind of turn it so you can see it. That you don't put in a whole bunch of stuff in there and smother it. I have done that before. And there is some wind blowing. You might be able to see the smoke kind of blowing around. It's not a whole lot. Go and put some bigger pieces in there. And it's not completely going inside the entire firebox at the moment, but it won't be too much longer before it is going. So I'm going to go ahead and put my stove, my cook pot on there. I think I've got it in the camera. Alright, maybe you can see that. And then you just sit here and play with the fire. That's the fun part, in my opinion. Like I said, do have to be careful. If you throw too much stuff in there at once, it can smother the fire. Want to kind of keep a good even mixture of small pieces with big pieces. The small pieces, of course, will make it burn faster, which will make the bigger pieces, like what I just threw in, it'll make it make those pieces catch on a little better. I'm going to let that go for just a minute. I'm not timing it here. I guess I could, but I'm not timing it. Not really worried about how long it takes. In my experience, it usually does take anywhere between 5 to 8 minutes, just depending on how much fuel I keep in there, how well the fire's going. You can see now it's going awesome. You got to tell me, folks. Can't tell me that's not awesome. Like I said, if I would have did a top-down burn, I wouldn't have to be sitting here throwing in these pieces like that. But like I said, I don't mind throwing in these little pieces. It's fun for me to play with the fire. Now, if I get to camp and I need to go ahead and get my water going, and I want to set up on doing that, now that would be a good instance that I would use the top-down burn. But if I'm just sitting around, already have everything set up, doing it this way would be my preference. Got to do something while you're at camp, right? Not quite yet. Also, too, I don't think I've showed anybody, but this is the Enzo Trapper 95 knife, if it'll focus. I don't think it's going to focus. Maybe not. Anyway, just kind of pull it into focus. Anyway, this is the Enzo Trapper 95 knife. Got it from Knife Country, USA. I thought I was getting the D2 steel version, and it ended up being N690CO. From doing a little bit of research, I think that's still a fine steel, so I decided to keep it and not have to worry about sending it back. But I like it pretty well. It's heavier than my Moras and stuff like that, but it's a much better quality knife. It's got a full tang, as you can see there, and you can really just do a lot of work with this knife if you had to. And of course it came with a nice leather sheath. But let's throw a little more in there. And I hear the water. It's getting ready to boil. It's not quite boiling yet, but it shouldn't be too much longer. Let's see. Actually, there's a little boiling going on. I'll show you. So you can see I haven't, it's been going the whole time. I haven't did any stop frame or anything like that. So I'm going to say that's probably about a 6-minute boil, somewhere around there. And of course I can keep feeding. It's a good rolling boil now. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and take this off and I'm going to let that die out. And then if it's still enough white out here, I'll show you the ashes and all that stuff. So hang on. So there it is burning. I don't know if you can see that too well. And of course, doesn't do you any justice because I've used this cook pot over wood stoves quite a bit. But anyway, that's it. Still letting it burn out, but I did want to point out one other thing. If you'll notice how much wood I still have left, I don't know if you remember how much I had at the very beginning, but if you remember, I haven't really used that much wood. And when I went and picked it up, it was really just kind of a handful of just sticks. I mean, it wasn't really anything that I spent more than about a minute and a half on collecting. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much fuel it took to get that 2 cups of water to a boil. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, everything is not completely died out. You can see there's still some pieces in there. It's kind of going pretty good. You can see that. But I'm kind of getting eat up by mosquitoes out here. So what I want to do is go ahead and dump that and get it all packed up and get back inside. So I'll just show you. You saw that. I can pick up the stove. Now, of course, up here at the top, it's still going to be pretty dang hot. I can't actually grab it and hold it. Down at the bottom, it's plenty fine. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this. And I will say that whenever I turn it upside down, that makes that heat rise. And the bottom of it can get kind of hot. But there you go. If you can see that. It's first burn. Did great. Still kind of warm. Let's see here. You can see there's still some good little pieces in there. But anyway, go ahead and put this back in here. And this thing, like I said, it's still too hot to really touch and hold up there. So, but what's cool is the whole outside is clean. There's no soot or anything like that on the outside of the stove. Everything's inside. And that's what I really, really like about this design of this stove. Everything is just so captured and clean. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the cook pot for now. So I can carry this in. There you go. You can see there. Back up, and there it is. So folks, that's my initial burn of the Bushbuddy Ultra 004. Really happy with the stove. Of course, I've only used it once just now, but this design, in my opinion, if you're going for a completely 100% wood stove, I really, really like this design stove. Like I said, 10.4 ounces for everything here. Not a bad weight, in my opinion, considering you wouldn't really be carrying any extra fuel. And it's durable because of the actual cook pot that it's in. And it just works. It's easy to use, and like I just showed you, it's clean and it's efficient. So anyway, guys, I appreciate you watching. If you have any comments or questions, just post them below, and I'll do my best to answer any of the questions you have or reply to the comments. And as normal, I appreciate you watching. Later.